What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're going to jump in and round up all of the known changes for Season 13 of Destiny 2. Of course, at the moment there is a lot of hunger for new content, and we are waiting for more details about that stuff, but there are also a lot of system changes that are worth knowing about. So in this video we're going to round up the season preview as we know it, and as always be sure to keep it locked and loaded on the channel for the rest of the details in the next week or so. But now, let's jump into the video. Before we talk more about some of the technical stuff, according to well-known data miner in the Destiny community Jinsa, Season 13 will be known as Season of the Chosen. We've also spotted the icon for the season in some of the materials that Bungie have posted in TWAB. There's plenty of speculation about exactly what that's going to mean. Again, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts or speculation about that. But moving to the changes that are coming to the game, a new one which Bungie have just announced is brand new armor for Trials of Osiris, and they did go ahead and preview what these will look like in the game. So first up we have the Hunter right here, and we can see immediately we've got the kind of gold and black theme. Certainly very ornate and mythic looking armor right there. We can see the Warlock right here. Almost looks like there are flames inside of the mask right there. And then finally the Titan, lots of kind of geometry and line work. And obviously linking in a little bit with the theme of Trials of Osiris. So they're pretty cool, and give us your thoughts below, but Bungie had stated a while back that Trials will get additional new accessories and weapons in Season 13, so we've kind of seen the updated theme. And I'd love to know, do you think these drops will have you headed back into Trials? Whether that's from hardcore Trials fans or players who might jump back into the playlist to collect the new stuff. Be sure to give us your thoughts in the comments section. Moving on though, there are additional significant changes for playlists and rewards. So initially, across all of the ritual activities, there will be 2 new weapons added for Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit. These will be in the loot tables for the activity, kind of like Xenoclast, Crowd Pleaser, or Stars in Shadow for Season of the Hunt. But additionally, Nightfall Strikes are getting 3 unique weapons, and that consists of the Palindrome, the Swarm, and Shadow Price, all making a Destiny 2 debut. And additionally, there will be Grandmaster Nightfall variants of them which drop as Adept versions. And on the subject of strikes, Bungie are reprising the Fallen Saber and Devil's Lair strikes from Destiny 1, as well as expanding certain areas of the Cosmodrome in D2, obviously to make those strikes accessible. And they say that the Cosmodrome will be pretty close to its D1 size, minus the Plague Lands. Of course, in terms of the Crucible, Bungie have announced that Crucible tokens will be deprecated. So once again, be sure to cash those tokens in before the end of this season. And then starting in Season 13, for Gambit and Crucible, rank rewards are going to be added to ritual vendors, so we will be able to earn reputation in those playlists to unlock rewards that we can see on the vendor screens. So at rank 4, we'll get 3 upgrade modules, rank 7 will drop 3 enhancement cores, rank 10 dropping the seasonal ritual shader, rank 13 will drop 2 enhancement prisms, rank 16 the seasonal ritual emblem, and the reset reward will be an ascendant shard. Once again, those changes will be active for Crucible and Gambit, and then strikes are also going to work that way in a future season. There are other activity and reward additions, so all of the K1 Lost Sectors on the moon are going to be added to the Legend and Master rotation for Lost Sectors. And Bungie have said that there will be 3 new exotic armor pieces to chase inside of the Lost Sectors. That'll be a big positive for world activities, and then one of the big reward changes that we'll feel in the game in general will be the return of Umbral engrams. So when Bungie revealed this, they did confirm a new seasonal activity, but for the duration of Year 4, as of Season 13, Umbral engrams will drop from completing a variety of content, and that'll include patrols, strikes, Crucible, Gambit, the Ordeal, public events, Nightmare hunts, Empire hunts, Exo challenges, and the new seasonal activity itself. The reintroduction of Umbral engrams will also see the Prismatic Recaster return, and we'll get a quest to unlock and kind of learn how to use that. And that'll allow us to focus Umbral engrams once again into a smaller loot table. We'll get an additional item called Prismatic Lenses, and when we earn these, we'll be able to use them to target a narrower collection of gear, as well as specific armor stats. And so that will be a pretty big shift for world rewards in the game. The other thing that Bungie will be introducing will be title gilding. And so for core ritual titles including Unbroken, Dredgen, Flawless, and Conqueror, Bungie will be adding a series of seasonal objectives to gild the title, and titles that can be gilded will be indicated by a new border around the seal in the Triumph UI. There will be a pip tracking how many times in a career we've gilded a given title, and then a new colour and symbol for the title will appear over the head once you've completed the seasonal objectives, which at the end of the season will be reset. The original title will be preserved. If you want the title to be gilded once again, you'll have to complete the new objectives in the following season, and that'll come with a new colour and all those things. Additionally, a new fundamental system for season content starting in Season 13 will be season challenges, and these are going to replace weekly bounties in the game. Will award significant amounts of XP week over week, plus additional rewards. But first, we should note that with weekly bounties going away, Any completed bounties do need to be turned in before the end of this season, otherwise they'll be lost. But getting into the new challenges, every week for the first 10 weeks of a season, between 3 and 10 new challenges will appear automatically for players. Some examples include defeating primeval envoys in Gambit, enemies in the Nightfall Ordeal with season weapons, gaining infamy or valor ranks, acquiring the ritual weapon and his cosmetic ornaments, winning rounds in Trials of Osiris, and completing Grandmaster Nightfalls. And completing each challenge will award XP, contributing to the Season Pass rank, but other rewards include Bright Dust, seasonal currency, and other interesting items. In fact, Bright Dust will be a big reward component for these challenges. Each of the Strike, Crucible, and Gambit seasonal challenges will award between 75 and 300 Bright Dust. And they're also introducing an end-of-season Bright Dust bonus. And then each Ritual Vendor challenge, where you complete 8 bounties, will award 120 additional Bright Dust for each character. So in terms of how much Bright Dust we can earn, for season challenges, we'll be able to earn 6,000 Bright Dust, with 4,000 extra per season, for a total of 10,000 Bright Dust. And then for the Season Pass Bright Dust, the free path will get 7,500, the paid path an additional 3,000, for a total of 10,500. Plus, if you were to complete all required weekly challenges for the playlists over the course of Season 13, you'd be able to earn an additional 14,000 Bright Dust in a single season. So that kind of rounds out challenges and currency changes. However, the thing that we haven't spoken about regarding rewards would be reissued gear that we're going to see in Season 13 as well. So, for the Dreaming City's Reverie Dawn and the Moon's Dreambane armor, they are going to be reissued, and Bungie have said they will also drop with high stats when earned in the Shattered Throne or Pit of Heresy. So they'll drop both in the dungeon, but also from those world sources, at least as far as Bungie have explained it. And the final chest in the Pit of Heresy will no longer drop a fully masterworked armor piece. Instead, the Dreambane armor piece that drops will have 7 armor energy and is guaranteed to drop with at least plus 16 in 2 different stats and higher stats overall. They add that the Dreambane class item won't drop from that chest. And so it will be a good source for reliably high stat rolled gear. But they're also reissuing 4 weapons for Dreaming City with new perk pools, so Waking Vigil, Sleepless, Vouchsafe, and the Retold Tale will come back. And Dreaming City weapons that drop in the Shattered Throne dungeon can roll with perks that are unavailable from drops from other reward sources. And essentially it will be the same situation for weapons from the Moon. They're reissuing Premonition, that'll drop in the Pit of Heresy only, but also Heretic, Blasphemer, and Apostate, and the ones that drop inside of the dungeon will roll with unique perks that aren't available on drops from elsewhere. So there's been some mixed feedback on reissuing gear. The one positive that we can definitely take from it though, is that Bungie are improving kind of pinnacle reward sources, more unique bonuses, better chances at high stat rolls from doing pinnacle things like dungeons. Those are at least in themselves positives, so otherwise give us all of your thoughts about that stuff down below. Now though, it is time to speak about some of the quality of life updates. So firstly, as Bungie confirmed the other day, Europa is getting an additional landing zone. Seems likely to be in the north part of the map right there. Then for materials starting in Season 13, planetary materials including phase glass needles, alkane dust, simulation seeds, and seraphite will no longer be accepted by vendors. And for any folks who haven't spent all of them at the end of Season of the Hunt, Spider will be kind enough to offer a small glimmer exchange to take them off our hands. But if possible, it is worth spending them to acquire other currencies and things like that before that happens. Of course, another thing they have told us is that in February they're adding time-limited quest weapons. So Fellwinter's Lie, Whisper of the Worm, and Outbreak Perfected to the exotic kiosk in the tower. Those have been unavailable up until this point, or at least since Beyond Light. DDoS protection will be coming to Destiny 2 for players on all consoles in Season 13. And there are bound to be a bunch of other changes that Bungie will list when the patch notes for the update drop on February 9th. But here, as we get into the last couple of sections of the video, Bungie have outlined a series of sandbox changes that will be coming for various weapons and exotics in the game. So starting out with general archetype changes, the following weapon archetypes will have their mouse and keyboard recoil adjusted closer to controller, and they've reduced the difference from -40 to -20 for auto rifles, scout rifles, pulse rifles, and then submachine guns, hand cannons, and heavy machine guns. However, they do say they will also be introducing some buffs. So they are going to be reducing camera movement from firing a submachine gun by 24%, and then by 7% for pulse rifles, and 9.5% for machine guns. But then they list some straight up buffs and nerfs, so they're increasing rocket launcher damage by 30%. Exotic rocket launchers have been adjusted individually and are affected by this change to different degrees, but they're increasing fusion rifle damage fall off start distance based on range stats, so 6% with 0 range and 16% with 100 range, plus reducing the camera movement from firing a fusion rifle by 9.5%. And finally, they say that breach grenade launcher projectiles will now detonate on impact with the character even if holding the trigger. But for nerfs, they've increased ADS flinch to snipers when taking damage from other players, but also they are reducing sword damage by 15%. It's obviously going to affect a lot of popular weapons in the game right now, but we do have a list of exotic changes and bug fixes here. And for exotic weapons that lose their buffs when switching weapons, Ace of Spades, Terraba, and Hawkmoon will no longer lose those buffs if you pull a Ghost Shell out. Borealis and Hardlight now have a custom animation for switching damage type. And then for Duality, they've increased damage fall off distance by 1.25 meters, both from firing in the hip and aiming down sights. And they've reduced the maximum buff stacks from 7 to 5. Each stack though will now grant more of a damage bonus. And the Sturm once again will reload any equipped special slot weapon on kill provided the special weapons clip isn't already full and there's available reserve ammo. And they fixed an issue that was preventing Merciless from increasing its charge rate on non-lethal hits. Once again, it seems pretty likely that even more Sandbox changes will be listed in the patch notes on February 9th. Very finally right here, in terms of the stuff that's going to change from Season of the Hunt, Bungie have said a few things will be sticking around, including story missions, which will be able to be launched from a node on the Director. Wrathborn hunts are still going to be a thing, the Adored quests will continue to be available, as well as Crow's vendor screen on the Tangled Shore, despite the fact that it's going to be featured in another destination at the same time. But then also the Hawkmoon exotic quest and Harbinger activity, as well as the Season Seal and Warden title. But otherwise, Crow's bounties, messages from the field, seasonal artifact, and season pass will be going away at the end of the season. So bear those things in mind. And finally, something we should look forward to in terms of future updates and the health of the game. But Joe Blackburn from Bungie said they're taking some time to validate various plans, but expect a State of Destiny 2021 at some point during Season 13. So there is going to be a lot of conversation about the game over the next 2 or 3 weeks, but also that ongoing conversation, and I'm sure plenty of feedback, will still be pretty prominent, so as always, give us any thoughts you have down below. But for today, guys, that does it for this roundup of all of the things we know are going to be changing in Season 13. If there happens to be anything that I've missed, let us know in the comment section down below. And up next, we should hopefully get a bit of a content reveal, potentially new activity story stuff, maybe in the form of a trailer or via Bungie.net, so be sure to keep it locked and loaded right here, and I'll keep you posted as soon as we get any new info. But for today, guys, once again, give us any of your thoughts on the changes coming next season. If you've enjoyed the video or found it useful, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. And for now, I appreciate you tuning in and hope you have an awesome day.